Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in all our lives when we look at what is before us and feel the ache of wishing it were different. Maybe it's a relationship, a missed opportunity, or even the state of the world. We struggle, we resist, we fight against reality, but here's the truth. True freedom begins when we stop fighting what is and start accepting life exactly as it unfolds. Before we kill life, then we kill ourselves. Acceptance is not just a momentary decision. It is a journey, a profound process that shapes how we engage with the world around us. It is the act of recognizing and embracing reality for what it is, without the filter of denial, resistance, or judgment. At first glance, this may sound simple, but in practice, it requires a level of courage and clarity that transforms the way we see ourselves, our relationships, and the circumstances we face. At its essence, acceptance is about seeing things as they truly are. It asks us to face the truth of a situation, even when it is painful or uncomfortable. This does not mean we give up or stop aspiring for change. Rather, it means we stop expending energy fighting against the unchangeable. When we stop wrestling with reality, we open ourselves to the possibility of growth, clarity, and peace. In many ways, acceptance is the foundation for transformation. It creates the stability and grounding we need to move forward with intention. But let us not confuse acceptance with resignation. Resignation is passive. It leaves us stuck, feeling powerless and detached. Acceptance, on the other hand, is active. It is a conscious choice to acknowledge life as it is while retaining the power to decide how we respond. It is an act of courage to stop asking, "Why me?" and instead say, "What can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow?" The power of acceptance also lies in its ability to free us from unnecessary suffering. So much of the pain we experience comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. Think about the energy we spend wishing things were different, replaying moments from the past, or worrying about an uncertain future. Acceptance allows us to reclaim that energy. It redirects our focus to the present moment, the only place where true change and healing can occur. When we practice acceptance, we begin to see life's challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities. Every setback carries within it a lesson, every disappointment a chance to build resilience. By embracing even the difficult moments, we discover that our greatest growth often comes from the places where we felt most broken. It is in those moments of acceptance that we learn the art of turning pain into wisdom and struggle into strength. Acceptance is also deeply tied to self-compassion. How often do we judge ourselves harshly for our mistakes, flaws, or perceived shortcomings? When we learn to accept ourselves fully, our strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between, we unlock the door to true self-love. This doesn't mean we stop striving to improve, but we do so from a place of kindness rather than criticism. Self-acceptance reminds us that we are worthy, not because we are perfect, but because we are human. In our relationships, acceptance is equally powerful. It allows us to see others for who they truly are without trying to mold them into our expectations. When we accept people as they are, we create space for connection, understanding, and empathy. This doesn't mean we condone harmful behavior or let go of our boundaries. It means we approach others with compassion, recognizing their humanity even when they fall short. Finally, acceptance is about finding peace. It is about letting go of the need to control everything and trusting in the flow of life. It doesn't mean we stop dreaming or working toward our goals, but it does mean we learn to find contentment in the journey, not just the destination. It teaches us that life, in all its messiness and imperfection, is still beautiful. The power of acceptance is transformative. It allows us to see the world and ourselves more clearly, to let go of what holds us back, and to embrace the present moment with open arms. In doing so, we find not only peace, but also the strength to move forward, to grow, and to thrive. Acceptance is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, resilience, and possibility. By releasing the need to control everything, we create space for growth, joy, and unexpected blessings. This act of letting go is not about giving up. It is about surrendering the illusion of control we often cling to. Life, as much as we may try to structure and plan it, unfolds on its terms, not ours. The harder we grip, the more resistance we create, and in that resistance lies tension, frustration, and exhaustion. Letting go is a choice, to loosen that grip and trust the flow of life. When we let go, we free ourselves from the weight of expectations, those we place on ourselves and those imposed by others. Expectations can often act as chains, binding us to outcomes that may not serve our highest good. By releasing these, we allow ourselves to experience life as it is, not as we think it should be. In doing so, we open the door to possibilities we may never have imagined, welcoming moments of serendipity and grace. Letting go also liberates us from the burden of past regrets and future anxieties. The past is a story that has already been written, and no amount of dwelling can rewrite it. The future, no matter how much we try to predict or control it, remains uncertain. When we cling to these, we rob ourselves of the present moment, the only place where life truly happens. Letting go is an act of reclaiming the here and now, finding freedom in the simplicity of being present. In relationships, letting go is an act of love, both for ourselves and for others. It means releasing the need to control the actions, thoughts, or decisions of those around us. True connection flourishes when we allow others the freedom to be themselves without judgment or manipulation. At the same time, letting go means recognizing when a relationship no longer serves our well-being and having the courage to walk away. This left us connection battles. It also left us making peace with ourselves and not having the courage to walk away. It is not an easy choice, but it is often a necessary one for our growth and peace. Letting go is not synonymous with weakness or defeat. On the contrary, it is a profound act of strength and courage. It takes bravery to release what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us, and to step into the unknown with faith. It is about trusting that what lies ahead holds the potential for greater joy and fulfillment, even if we cannot see it yet. If we believe the perfection of something, it gives it fertile soil for growth and development, even if we cannot see it yet. The liberation that comes from letting go is not just emotional, it is physical, mental, and spiritual. We feel lighter, as if a great weight has been lifted from our shoulders. Our minds become clearer, no longer cluttered with worries and what-ifs. Our spirits soar, unburdened by the chains of attachment and control. In letting go, we make room for healing, for growth, and for the beauty of life to unfold in its own perfect way. Ultimately, letting go is a journey, not a one-time event. It is something we practice daily, moment by moment, as we learn to trust ourselves and the process of life. Each time we release something, a fear, an expectation, a relationship, or a belief, we take a step closer to our authentic selves. In that authenticity, we find the freedom to live fully, to love deeply, and to embrace the boundless possibilities that life has to offer. Impressively, the line puts together a fantastic story of health, wealth, and freedom. When we stop fighting what is, we begin to find peace and understand life's deeper lessons. Perspective is a powerful gift, one that allows us to view our circumstances through a lens of clarity and wisdom rather than frustration or despair. It is not something that comes easily. It often requires us to pause, reflect, and step outside our immediate emotions. Yet when we gain perspective, we unlock a sense of freedom and insight that can transform even the most challenging experiences into moments of growth and understanding. Perspective gives us the ability to see the bigger picture, to recognize that life is not defined by a single moment or situation. Often we become so consumed by the difficulties we face that we lose sight of the broader context. Challenges can feel insurmountable when we view them in isolation, but when we zoom out, we realize they are just one chapter in a much larger story. Perspective reminds us that no storm lasts forever, and that even the darkest nights are followed by the dawn. One of the most profound aspects of perspective is its ability to shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. It teaches us gratitude by highlighting the blessings we might otherwise overlook. In moments of hardship, perspective gently nudges us to acknowledge the strength we've developed, the support we've received, and the lessons we've learned. It is not about ignoring the difficulties, but about balancing them with the awareness of the good that coexists alongside them. Perspective also helps us to reframe our struggles. Instead of seeing them as unfair burdens, we can view them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. When we adopt this mindset, we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" This shift is not just empowering, it is transformative. It allows us to find meaning in our pain and purpose in our challenges, turning what once felt like setbacks into stepping stones towards something greater. Through perspective, we also develop empathy. When we take the time to see things from another person's point of view, we realize that everyone carries their own struggles and joys. This understanding fosters connection and compassion, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. It helps us to forgive, to let go of resentment, and to approach others with kindness, even when they fall short of our expectations. Perspective does not change the facts of our circumstances, but it changes the way we experience them. It teaches us that while we may not have control over everything that happens, we always have control over how we choose to respond. This realization is incredibly liberating. It shifts our focus from what is beyond our power to what lies firmly within it: our attitude, our choices, and our ability to adapt. Our attitude. Our choices and our ability to adapt. In essence, the gift of perspective is the ability to find peace amidst the chaos, to uncover wisdom in the midst of uncertainty, and to embrace life with all its imperfections. It reminds us that every experience, no matter how difficult, holds the potential to teach us something valuable. With perspective, we learn to see life not as a series of obstacles, but as a rich tapestry of moments, each contributing to our growth and understanding. Perspective is not something we are born with. It is cultivated through time, reflection, and a willingness to look beyond the surface. It is a gift we can give ourselves over and over again, one that allows us to navigate life with grace, resilience, and a sense of wonder. By embracing the gift of perspective, we open ourselves to a deeper appreciation of the world around us and a fuller understanding of our own strength and potential. Life's imperfections and challenges shape our journey and help us grow into our most authentic selves. Embracing imperfection is not about settling for less or lowering our standards. It is about acknowledging that perfection is an illusion and recognizing the beauty that lies in our flaws, struggles, and vulnerabilities. It is an act of self-love and self-compassion, a way of releasing ourselves from the impossible burden of trying to be flawless and allowing ourselves to be fully human. Imperfection is a universal truth. No one escapes it, and no aspect of life is untouched by it. Yet, so often, we resist this reality. We strive for perfection in how we look, act, and perform, chasing an ideal that, even if reached, is fleeting and unsustainable. This constant pursuit leaves us exhausted, anxious, and disconnected from who we truly are. But when we choose to embrace imperfection, we find freedom in the knowledge that we are enough, just as we are. One of the most profound lessons of embracing imperfection is the realization that our flaws are not weaknesses, but opportunities for growth. Every mistake we make, every misstep we take, teaches us something valuable about ourselves and the world around us. These moments of imperfection are where resilience is built, where creativity is sparked, and where our character is forged. They are not detours from the path, but essential parts of the journey.
In embracing imperfection, we also learn to let go of the need for constant comparison. So often we measure our worth against others, believing that their success or appearance somehow diminishes our own. This mindset traps us in a cycle of envy and inadequacy. But when we accept that everyone has their own struggles and that no one's life is as perfect as it may seem from the outside, we free ourselves from this cycle. We begin to focus on our unique strengths and contributions, finding joy in our individuality rather than despair in our differences. Imperfection is what makes us relatable and connects us to others. Think about the people you admire most, not because they are flawless, but because they are real. Their authenticity, vulnerability, and courage in the face of challenges inspire us far more than any illusion of perfection ever could. By embracing our imperfections, we give others permission to do the same, creating deeper, more meaningful relationships built on trust and understanding. In our creative pursuits, imperfection is often where the magic happens. The greatest works of art, literature, and innovation are rarely the result of flawless execution. They are born from trial and error, from embracing uncertainty, and from allowing mistakes to guide the process. When we let go of the need for everything to be perfect, we open ourselves to new possibilities, unexpected discoveries, and a greater sense of fulfillment in our endeavors. Embracing imperfection also means being kind to ourselves when we fall short. Too often, we are our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossibly high standards and berating ourselves when we fail to meet them. But self-compassion is the antidote to this cycle of self-criticism. It allows us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a dear friend. It reminds us that making mistakes is not a reflection of our worth, but a natural part of being human. In a world that often glorifies perfection, choosing to embrace imperfection is a radical act. It is a declaration that we will no longer be defined by unrealistic expectations or external validation. Instead, we will honor our unique journey, celebrate our progress, and find beauty in the messiness of life. Ultimately, embracing imperfection is about recognizing that our worth is not tied to what we achieve or how we appear, but to who we are at our core. It is about finding peace in our humanity, joy in our growth, and strength in our authenticity. By accepting and celebrating our imperfections, we step into our true selves, living more fully and authentically than ever before. Empowerment is not something granted to us by others. It is a choice we make for ourselves. It is a conscious decision to take ownership of our lives, our actions, and our mindset. Choosing empowerment is about stepping into our strength, recognizing our worth, and asserting our ability to shape our destiny. It is not always an easy path, but it is one that leads to profound growth, self-discovery, and fulfillment. To choose empowerment is to reclaim our personal power. In a world that often tries to dictate who we should be, how we should think, and what we should do, empowerment is the act of standing firm in our truth. It is the refusal to be defined by external expectations or limitations. Instead, it is the unwavering belief in our ability to rise above challenges, make decisions that align with our values, and pursue the life we envision for ourselves. Empowerment begins with self-awareness. It requires us to examine our beliefs, our fears, and the narratives we tell ourselves. Too often, we internalize messages of doubt and inadequacy, believing that we are not enough. These limiting beliefs become barriers to our potential, holding us back from what we are capable of achieving. Choosing empowerment means confronting these beliefs head-on, challenging their validity, and replacing them with affirmations of our strength, resilience, and capability. At its core, empowerment is about choice. It is the recognition that while we may not have control over every circumstance, we always have control over how we respond. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable, but when we choose empowerment, we take responsibility for our reactions and decisions. This sense of agency is liberating. It reminds us that we are not victims of our circumstances, but active participants in our lives. Empowerment also means setting boundaries and prioritizing our well-being. It is the act of saying no when necessary, protecting our energy, and refusing to let others diminish our sense of self. Boundaries are not selfish. They are essential for maintaining our mental, emotional, and physical health. By choosing to set and enforce boundaries, we demonstrate respect for ourselves and our needs, reinforcing our sense of empowerment. In relationships, empowerment manifests as mutual respect and authenticity. It allows us to communicate openly, advocate for ourselves, and express our needs without fear of judgment or rejection. Empowered individuals bring their full selves to their relationships, fostering deeper connections built on trust and understanding. They inspire others to embrace their own empowerment, creating a ripple effect of strength and self-belief. Choosing empowerment also requires us to take risks and embrace vulnerability. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens when we push ourselves beyond what feels safe and familiar. Empowerment is the courage to try, even when failure is a possibility. It is the willingness to learn from mistakes, adapt, and keep moving forward. In this process, we discover the depth of our resilience and the extent of our capabilities. Empowerment is not a one-time decision. It is a practice. It is something we choose every day in big moments and small. It is in the way we speak to ourselves, the goals we set, and the actions we take. It is in the decision to prioritize our growth, to seek out opportunities, and to persevere even in the face of adversity. Choosing empowerment is transformative. It changes the way we see ourselves and the world. It shifts our perspective from one of limitation to one of possibility. When we choose empowerment, we unlock our potential and embrace our role as creators of our lives. We recognize that we are capable of achieving far more than we once believed, and that our power lies not in perfection, but in persistence. Ultimately, choosing empowerment is an act of self-love. It is a declaration that we are worthy of happiness, success, and fulfillment. It is a commitment to ourselves, to living authentically, and to pursuing our dreams with courage and determination. By choosing empowerment, we honor our strength, our value, and our ability to create a life that reflects our true selves. It is strength. It is empowerment. It is choosing peace over struggle, gratitude over resentment, and love over fear. So today I invite you to pause, breathe, and look at your life, not through the lens of what if, but with the eyes of what is. And when you do, I promise you this: you will find a power within you that nothing in this world can shake.